How is everybody doing? This is a recording of a webinar that I have posted, and it's also going to be placed on YouTube and on TikTok. And in this video, what I'm going to talk about is responding to debt collector lawsuits. And the thing about it is that I want to make it clear to people about what is required and what's more important to me. And let me be 100% honest and transparent with you. I don't want you to trust me. I do not want you to trust what I'm about to say, and I really get it because there's a lot of people out there just throwing information all over the place, and you don't know who to trust. It's just crazy. But the fact is, I don't want you to trust me right now. I do not want you to trust me right now. Because if you've been sued by debt collectors, you've already been through enough. It could disrupt whatever comfortability that you have right now with your life. And maybe you've seen all of the promises from different people emailing you stuff. I'm pretty sure attorneys are sending you letters, and you've probably seen stuff on YouTube, TikTok, all over the place. It's just information overload. And it seems like every time people are just after your money, they're not after helping you get your freedom and your comfort level back. That it's just that they're just trying to just force you into doing something. And I want to let you know that we have all been taught not to trust. You've been taught not to trust. I've been taught not to trust. And honestly, that's smart because people get hurt when they put their trust into the wrong people. So here's the shift that I want you to consider. Don't trust me. Don't listen to what I say. Because even though I know what I'm going to tell you can help you, I don't want you to trust what I say. I want you to trust the process, because that'll put the power in your hands on you being able to make the right decision for yourself. So what I want to start off with first, and the process is what's important, because if you know what the process is, and I'm not talking about just the process of responding to debt collector lawsuits. I want to start at the beginning. You're handed that court summons. They hand you that court summons. And this is what you're required to do. So what I did here is I made a copy of one that was sent over to us. I just went into our files and dug up one. And let me just read this here, because this is from the court. These are not my words. It says that you have been sued by the person named plaintiff in the court stated above. The nature of this suit against you is stated in the complaint, which is attached to this summons. Also states the demand which the plaintiff has made against you. Now, here's very important. I want you to, you got to listen to what I'm about to tell you next. You must answer the complaint in writing to be filed with the court by you or your attorney within 20 days. Depending on where you live, it could be 15 to 30 days. In between 15 to 30 days is different in a lot of jurisdictions. But the key word is you must answer the complaint in writing to be filed with the court by you or your attorney if you wish to get an attorney. And I'm going to speak on that in a minute about why you don't need an attorney. And then they give you the specified period of time that you have to do it. This is part of the process that starts once you are served. commencing the day after you receive this summons. So what they're saying is, after you receive that summons, the clock starts to tick on the number of days that you have to respond. So now you have 23 days to answer if the summons was received by mail. A lot of people will state, well, if I'm not summoned to court, I didn't get served in hand, does that matter? In some states, they only require attempted service, where they just go to your address, and if you don't answer the door, they just can leave it on the doorstep, or they can just take it with them and write down that it was an attempted service, or they can mail it to you. And as long as it's mailed to your address, even if you don't live there anymore, an address, your last known address, it will count as you being served. So if you do not respond, judgment will be entered against you for what the plaintiff has demanded. So by not responding, you are actually admitting to whatever they put in there. It could be full of lies. It could be full of untruths. It could be full of incorrect numbers. It could be full of anything. But simply by you not following the process and responding, you are admitting to everything, and you will get a default judgment. Now, what does a default judgment mean? Let's break that down. A default judgment means that the plaintiff, original creditor or debt collector, can collect on that judgment up to 20 years. Now, I've had people ask me the question, Steve, what does it mean up to 20 years? That means that if they start collecting and you leave your job or something happens, unemployment, whatever, they still have up to 20 years to collect. It means that if they collect it all within 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, they stop. It's fully paid. But the important thing to understand is that they have up to 20 years to collect on it. Now, this is the part that a lot of people don't think about. 20 years of being able to take assets from you, because if they find out that you have an asset, maybe you inherited something from a family member, your parents, maybe you end up having vehicles that are paid off. Maybe you have a nice vehicle and you show it off on social media. You might be saying, well, Steve, the vehicle's not paid for. They don't care. This is what they're doing, is that they will do, they will have someone come there and look at what that asset is worth. And if they feel that they can pay it off and sell it for more, they'll do that to go and have those funds contribute to what's owed on that judgment. They can take real estate. They can do all types of things to collect on that money. And trust me, they are out there trying to do it every day. This is the full-time job for these debt collectors. So now, what I want you to do is I want to have you think about something. Here's a shift that I want you to consider. I don't want you to trust me. I want you to trust the process. So we just talked about what is required from the court. I'll go back to it again. What is required by the court right here, that you must answer. You must file an answer with the court, and by yourself or with the attorney. So I know that brings up something with you on, okay, well, should I hire an attorney? You do not have to hire an attorney, and I'm going to show you some proof that you don't have to do it, but I'm going to actually give you some reasons why. And I'm not giving you legal advice, but I'm going to give you some information on what actually happened to me and what has happened to other clients. There is a rule that attorneys are officers of the court, and they cannot legally go into court and argue something that they know is factually inaccurate. So if you tell the court to tell your attorney to go into court and you tell them something that you know is not accurate, they have a duty to not use that in the argument against the plaintiff. This is just, you've seen that back and forth with court, and you probably have wondered, just like me, why wouldn't they just say that in court? And it's because they can't say it without foundation. These are the restrictions that attorneys are under. You and I are not under these types of restrictions. If we believe that we're wrong some way, as long as we formulate it the right way, we can state it as our defense, because that's our belief. We don't have an officer of the court expressing our belief. Also, one of the other problems with attorneys is that most attorneys are going to charge you upwards of $2,500 from the get-go. This does not count anything else that's going to go in, just to show up for you, $2,500. And a lot of them will push people into just doing settlements without pushing forward a defense that could potentially win their case. So what I want you to consider, and I'm going to put some testimonials up here as I talk, I'm going to actually go through them with you. So let me go ahead and put one up. So we have a case right here where this individual was being sued for $6,645.80. They came to us and we were able to help them with their summons response. Now, there's something that I want you to pay close attention to, just in case you missed it, is that this individual was being sued by the original creditor. I'll say that again. This individual was being sued by the original creditor. This individual did not know what they were going to do, what they were going to say. Yes, they did consider an attorney. The attorney told them, I think it was about $2,800. And he asked what that included, and he said that for that attorney was just going to go into court and stand in for him, that there was no defense that was going to be put in place. And so, utilizing our service, and I'll get into that later. We're not even talking about selling something, because I'm not even sure that I can help you. So by me showing you how we help these other people, if you feel that we're a good fit for you, then I'll give you some information on how you can follow up with us. Let's go to another testimonial. This lawsuit here was from a third-party debt buyer, LVNB Funding. We were able to help our client save $14,926.20. This case was dismissed. So when I say save, I want to make it clear that if our client did not utilize our service, they would have been on the hook for 20 years for $14,926.20, including the interest. That's another thing. It brings to mind an individual who was sued. They got a default judgment. They were sued for $20,000 when after a number of years, the default judgment ended up being $42,000. So by not doing anything, by allowing them to get the default judgment, individuals or yourself, if you are thinking of doing nothing, you are giving up your rights, and the potential is, depending on your state, the amount of interest that they're going to be able to charge and add on to that default judgment. So with this client, they were being sued by a third-party debt collector for $14,926.20. I will be going over later how much it costs for our service, but first I just want to prove to you that our service works, because that's more important to me, to prove to you that you have, and not by my words, by showing you proof from what we were able to do to help get accomplished without an attorney for our clients. Here's another client. They were being sued by Velocity Investments. Velocity Investments is another third-party debt buyer. They usually buy auto debt and higher balance credit card debt and payday loans, and they've even bought private student loans. And they were being sued for $12,910.28. And utilizing our service, we got this case dismissed. Here's another client that came in just a few weeks ago, and they actually had a default judgment. And the default judgment was for $39,583.33. And as you can see up top, this was with Ford Motor Credit Company. Default judgment. Vehicle was repossessed, and the amount that was left over, which is deficiency balance, was $39,583.33. The individual did not respond, just like a lot of people. Most people don't respond, and I spoke to that earlier. What happens if you don't respond? This individual ended up getting a default judgment against them, and we do offer a service, and I'll get into that later, but we were able to get this judgment dismissed, fully dismissed. So now this individual has this $39,000 debt taken off of their shoulders. They're able to move forward with their lives, and we were able to find issues with the case. Now, let me speak on something real quick that I didn't mention earlier. If an individual has default judgment, I talked about all of the financial repercussions, how they'll follow you around if you switch jobs. As soon as if you're a W-2 employee, soon as you're put into the system for taxes, they're going to find where your employer is and find you that way. But let's talk about it on a personal level. Let's talk about it on you being able to move forward in your life, you being able to get somewhere. You know, I believe that, especially if you're watching my video and you're a subscriber to my channel here on YouTube or TikTok or Facebook, that I believe that my followers, my audience is a mass of individuals who are looking to improve their lives. They're not looking to be on the run for 20 years from a default judgment. And what if you get another default judgment? So you get one and you got 20 years, and then you get another one 5 years later. Now you got another 20 years. So we're not looking at getting ourselves in that situation. So a default judgment will hurt you financially. It will hurt you from being able to move forward to buy a home, because the first thing they're going to look at is public records, and they're going to see that you have that judgment against you, and they're going to require that something gets done. So by being proactive and doing something about it early, you're going to be able to stop the pain from something happening to you in the future. But I do get it, and I don't expect you to trust me. I really do expect your skepticism. That's why I let my system for helping people, the service that we offer, speak for itself. Number one, so now I'm going to introduce you to the application that I created based off of real court experience, not off of books or something from ChatGPT or just coming off of something off the top of my head. We've been helping our clients tackle debt collectors for the last 20 years, and the service for helping people fight back against debt collector lawsuits, we're going on about 7 years right now. So now, I created a company called Summons Master, Summons Master AI. Now, don't be fooled by the AI on there. I utilize AI because I needed to be able to help more people faster. It's not something that digs in the AI. This was something that an AI that I had created for this company, Summons Master, utilizing the information that I've learned helping people win their lawsuits against debt collectors and original creditors. It is very simple and easy to use. All you have to do is upload your summons documents into, create one PDF file, upload them into Summons Master. I do not charge you to open the account. So you can go there, set up your account for free. You can, after you create your PDF file, one PDF file, and we can help you do that also, into into one PDF file, all of your documents. You only need the summons, all of the documents with the summons, the ones that had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the numbers on it. And if you have a bill of sale from the debt collection company, if you're being sued by a debt collector, that's all you need. You upload that, it will create a fully formatted response to every allegation against you. And it's going to say it the way that it needs to be said, and a defense to help you potentially win your case. So now, and it's going to say it the right way. Now, the one of the biggest questions that I get is is this legal to use? Yes. The cases that I just showed you where people got dismissals, those use the service that I'm offering to you today. If you already have a default judgment, then that's a different service that is not inside of Summons Master. You can go to summonsmaster.com and email us a request, and we will follow up with you on that. That is not something that Summons Master can do right now, because that's something that's a specialty. It is legal. There's no guesswork. You can't mess this up. But we do use what I call human oversight, where any summons that is created, we have a human look at it to make sure that you did the right things. With Summons Master, we have a section for original creditors. We have a section for debt collectors. So if you're being sued by an original creditor, that summons has to be created a different way than a summons from a debt buyer who buys your debt. Inside of Summons Master, I show you step by step with instructions, and it's very simple, how to distinguish between a debt collector who buys your debt and an original creditor. A lot of people get confused where they're like, well, there's an attorney that's suing me, isn't that a debt collector? Technically, the attorney is a debt collector, but the plaintiff is what you need to look at. If the plaintiff is the original creditor, you're being sued by the original creditor. If the plaintiff is LVMV Funding, Portfolio, Jefferson, Velocity, Portfolio, Sherman, or any number of different debt collectors, and basically if you look at your summons, you'll know, because it'll state that you had from the original creditor, and it'll also have a bill of sale. That's when you would want to choose a debt collector lawsuit. So now let's go over, a lot of people will say, well, Steve, what is the guarantee? What is the guarantee? Number one, no attorney can guarantee an outcome, and we cannot guarantee an outcome. Across the board, you cannot guarantee an outcome in court. You've probably seen the TV shows or different things. Only thing that you can guarantee is that you could be put into the position to win your case. So let's start from there. Is that number one, the first guarantee is that you will not get a default judgment. And I just read over what a default judgment means earlier in the video, that they will be able to come after you for 20 years. You're giving up your rights, and you're saying that everything that they allege against you is true. So guaranteed you're not going to get a default judgment. The next phase is now you have something that's going to give you power to where that document, that response is going to do all of the talking for you. So you don't have to be fearful of not knowing what to say or what to do. What you have to do is upload your documents and allow Summons Master to read your documents and create a response according to your specific lawsuit. And then your document will do all of the talking for you, because you're going to file that with the court clerk, which the judge will get, so the judge will understand what you're saying. And the plaintiff attorney, you have to mail one to the plaintiff attorney, and the plaintiff attorney is going to understand what you're saying. And then here are the potential outcomes that we've seen, is that the plaintiff attorney will get with their client, and their client will say, leave this one alone. Let's go after the people who are not submitting responses, because they believe that there's potential that they will not be able to overcome your defense. That has happened where people have utilized Summons Master AI, sent it to the court, filed it with the court, sent it to the plaintiff attorney, and they did it a number of days before their court date. So say, for instance, you receive it today and you have 20 days to respond. If you hurry up and get that done and get it to them, you can actually give them time to drop out before your court date, where they will actually send you a document and say, case dismissed. We're not going to continue. Reason why they're not going to continue is because they see that you have a real defense. Or the next thing could happen. They could sit there and let the court hearing date come up, and as soon as they call your name, they'll say case dismissed, because they just wanted to see if you would show up. They already know what you're going to say, so they don't want to go against you because they know what you're going to say. So they'll just say case dismissed. They just wanted to see if you were there, because remember what I said earlier. If you don't show up, even if you have something written, if you don't show up, they're going to still be able to get a default judgment against you. They can potentially get a default judgment because you still are required to show up for that hearing. Or they could say, we want to have the judge, the third option, we want to have the judge decide. And based off of your response, the judge is going to ask that plaintiff attorney, what do you have to say about these defenses? Because now you were compliant, you responded, and now the ball goes back into their court on responding to your defense. And if they don't have any defenses, the judge can choose to dismiss the case. And that's what can happen. And let's just go ahead and go a step further, potentially, because remember, I said that we cannot guarantee an outcome. What we can do is guarantee to put you in a position to win. But that's a lot. I've just showed you cases for different dollar amounts, and we've had some as high as $100,000 get dismissed utilizing this process that we put together with Summons Master AI. But let's just say worst case scenario, because I know most people always think about the worst case scenario, because they're like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, if you lose your case, you might be saying, well, Steve, what happens if we lose, if I lose? We're still here for you, and we can help you with the settlement process. So this is really helping you from A to Z. If you choose to work with us with Summons Master AI, we will hold your hand from A to Z. We have also our aftercare program. So if you utilize our service, it's not just where you're utilizing AI and it's hands off from there. You can email us, you can call us, you can text us, because we understand how you might be feeling, the anxiety. We understand that. I was sued and I had to go to court over a debt collector lawsuit, and I wish I had something like this back then when I was going through it. So I totally understand how you feel. I understand the different worries you might have, the sleepless nights. I truly understand. That's why I created Summons Master, to help people just like you. So now, let's go through the cost of the program. So right now I'm on our website, and at the top of our website you'll see the different options that are available. Right here, this is where you will set up your account. Once you set up an account, it's 100% free. You'll be able to log in And if you can create your summons, and if you ever get sued again, you will have access to create another response, and also you will have access just in case you lose your documents. And also, just in case, maybe you're not ready for the service, or you would just like to get some help, some pointers, you can book a call. We have a 30-minute or a 1-hour call. So now let's go over the prices. Number one, all of the packages are 100% premium service. And what I want to, this is the difference, because people will think, I don't want you to think that just because the cost is lower for some responses and higher for other responses, that the service isn't the same. The service is the same. Here's what I've learned from literally doing thousands of these cases, is that depending on the amount of your lawsuit, the more work that attorney is going to put into building the case. Does that make sense? If you're being sued for $5,000, yes, they're going to put in the work, and yes, it's important to them. But if you're being sued for $50,000, don't you think that the attorney is going to put in more work, because the payoff is going to be a lot more? The importance to their client just by the dollar amount is a lot more. So here we have the amounts. If you're being sued up to $5,000, the cost of the service is $149.95. So you can see, if you're being sued for $5,000 and you only have to pay $149.95 to have a fully formatted response to every allegation, and a defense to help you potentially win your case, and it's already formatted. You don't have to do nothing but sign and date, and you have a potential to have that case dismissed. That is like a bargain. In my eyes, that's a bargain, and I wanted to make that affordable. And if you're being sued for $5,001 to $10,000, it's only $249.95. If you're being sued for $10,001 to $20,000, it's only $349.95. And if you're being sued for $20,001 to $35,000, it's only $549.95. And if you're being sued for $35,001 to $55,000, it's only $895.95. That's a fraction of what they could get if you end up getting that default judgment. And if you're being sued for over $55,000, you need to click this contact button and contact us, because we're going to need to review your documents to see what we would have to charge you to help you with that case. Usually in this range, and the 55,000 and $50,000 and up, it's usually a business type lawsuit, and those have to be structured a little bit different. So now, what I want you to do is, if you feel that we're the right company for you, you can go to summonsmaster.com, upload your PDF file of your lawsuit, choose the appropriate one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on the inside real quick. Okay, right now we're inside of my demo account for Summons Master, and as you can see right here, once you get in, you'll go to this page. It's the dashboard page. Over here to the side, you'll have your view history. This is a master account, so I got different options here, but you can view history, and that will show you all of the different summons that you've created. So if you ever need to download them, you lost one, or whatever, it's always going to be stored there. And again, this account, to get your account set up, it's absolutely free. So I encourage you to take that baby step to go ahead and get your account, and then upload your documents. And after your summons is created, then you're asked to pay for the summons. And then after that, you will be able to download and access your documents. So now all you have to do right here is, if you're creating a summons, it needs to be a PDF file, one PDF file. You can't do multiple PDF files. It has to be one file put together. If you need help, you can either call us, or we will help you put that file together. You can send that to sales@summonsmaster.com. and we will put those files together for you so you can upload them. And again, you need to choose the appropriate response, debt collector or original creditor. Very important, because based off of that, Summons Master is going to create a different type of defense for you. So it's very important. This is not available anywhere. Let me repeat, this is not available anywhere else. And again, once you create your response, we will have a human oversight team member review it to make sure that everything is appropriate, and if any changes are needed, we will do that for you and send you an updated response so you can use it for your to file with the court and send to the plaintiff attorney. So if you have any questions, post them in the comments, email us. Do not delay. I just showed you with the document from the court what it means if you do not respond to your debt collector lawsuit. Thank you for your time. Subscribe to the channel. Post your questions in the comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, president, founder, and creator of Summons Master AI.